Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Hooray Thursday live for what is the 29th of January. Now, a couple of big things are happening in Stampin' Up world at the moment, and there's some new stuff coming and there's some new opportunities coming, so I'm very excited. So, to get my little buzz in order, because I know I'm running a little bit late, but to get my little buzz in order, today I am going to show you the new Stampin' Positioner. It's a new tool that's been brought out by Stampin' Up, and it's for positioning our stamps in a consistent manner, and it will make it easier, especially for people that have got things like arthritis or Parkinson's, that makes them a bit jittery, or if they're a classic stamp roller. Now, when I say a classic stamp roller, I mean those people that put their block down on the table and they wibble their blocks. So this will be perfect because it'll stop all of that nonsense. So you'll get less shadows, less outlines, all of those sort of things. So I'm going to show you the Stampin' Positioner. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to tell you about the Stampin' Positioner. If you're a demonstrator, you can get that Stampin' Positioner right now, and it's available to you until the 2nd of February. Oh, that's my birthday. Anyway, it's available to you until the 2nd of February for demonstrators. Customers, you cannot buy this. If you would like a Stampin' Positioner and you're a Stampin' Up customer, not a demonstrator, from the 3rd of February, you can get it free by joining Stampin' Up. So if you join Stampin' Up from the 3rd of February, you will get this put automatically into your cart. It's currently costing us $85 RRP. It will get automatically jump into your join cart and it will come out to you free. Now, will these be available for us to purchase at a later date? Maybe. I'm hoping so. I think so. They've said they will. They make no promises as to when. At the moment, they've got a limited number of them and they're available to demonstrators at the moment. We can pre-order them. And they're from the 3rd of February till the 2nd of March, they've got a promotion on for joining, and you can get yours added to your cart, your join kit, for free if you join in that time. So without further ado, let me introduce you. Let me just turn this little baby on. So I'm going to introduce you to our Stampin' Positioner. I'm using the stamp set called Lovely Arrangements, which is from the Lovely and the Lovely Bloom Suite, and I'm using paper called Lovely and Beautiful. There's so many lovelies in here. I thought lovely was appropriate thing for today because this position is lovely. So I'm using paper that's called Lovely and Beautiful. It's a specialty designer series paper, and it's from the suite also called Lovely and Beautiful. Lovely Arrangements, which is the stamp and die bundle I'm using, is actually from the Lovely Bloom Suite. All right. Got that? Nothing like a mouthful. So let me show you what I've got on my table today. All right. So I've got the Stampin' Positioner, and I've got the Lovely. I've taken them out of the case, these out of the cases, because they're easier for you to see. And I've got my dies aside, and I've got my stamp sets put aside as well. So this is Lovely Arrangements. It's a stamp set with a matching die bundle. We've got a couple of two feature dies in here, and I'm getting text messages, and Amanda should know that I'm online. And she's asking me questions about stuff that she's already said she's coming to. So these are the dies. So, you know, they're remarkably different in size to what they are on the picture. This one here is lots of fun. It cuts it out and you will get that whole shape. This one here will actually only give you these little cutout bits. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So it like punches little holes. All right, so there's some leaves which we'll be stamping, and there's some leaves which you don't stamp. You can cut them out of designer series paper. You can cut them out of cardstock. The double-sided cardstock looks fabulous. Okay, so the Stampin' Positioner, let me show you this baby. There is a pad of paper that you can buy separately that goes on it, all right, which has got inches on one side and centimetres on the other, for depending on which way you like to play. These are all what I'm showing you now comes in the packet. So we've got a big plate, we've got a little plate. The stamp doesn't come in the pack. I'll just take that off, because I can put that back on in a minute. The little plate a couple of magnets which have got these really cool tabs on them. So if they join together, they're not going to break because they've got some protection, but they're also really easy to get apart. All right. That didn't come with it. And we've got this board. The board's got pins on it. We've got push down feet here. That's for the big one. What you'll see is here, there's push down feet here on both sides. So this one will go onto here like so. Oops. And it will push down. So it's spring action. When you're using the little board, there's little tiny holes in this end, so that you've then got spring action because it's got all 4 of its spring action feet on here. Okay, perfect sense, yeah? All right, there is also, where if I bring it a little bit closer, you can probably see there's a triangle here, but there is inches marks and centimetre marks along the side and along the top. On the back, we've got a non-slip mat, okay? Which keeps it very nice. Oh my gosh, I'm fuzzy. Very nice on our lovely glass mat. All right. So I will put my little piece of paper back. Okay. And I will show you this. Now I will say these centimetre ones along here do not match up with the ones on the side here. Okay. Just keep that in mind. So we're actually going to use this particular grid. Now, I bought some samples over. I had a play. All right. And I was just playing using this stamp set. So we've got a couple of different sentiments. They're all different sizes. A bit hard for you to see. We're using Sending Smiles. So I will do that particular one. You can use your piece of paper. This is the piece that we're actually going to use today. This is Fresh Freesia. Now, depending on where you want it to go, you can see here, I've Sending Smiles all up the side. All right. Now, by Sending Smiles all up the side, I've actually had to position this stamp twice on the positioner so that I could get it to go up the side twice. I've then, on this particular piece, sent it up on an angle. So depending on what you want to do, depends on how you use it, and that's sending it in the different direction. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to do this on my actual card, I will show you how I sent it up these 2 ways. Using that little arrow it sort of sticks between these 2 points, and using that little arrow, I can get you another piece. I can get you another piece. I'll get myself another piece. What you do is you pop it in this little arrow here, get your magnets, which have stuck to I've got a big metal piece there, which is that holds the camera, right? Then I've worked out, using my grid paper, I've worked out how I want to send it up here. So I've just lined up sending along the bottom here. I might actually send it down a little bit lower. Okay. And then I've popped this just on top here. There is a little bit of wiggle room. You just want to make sure it's nice and square when you pop it down. Okay. And you can just press it down and it will land on there. The other option that you have is that you can turn this guy over. All right. I'm actually going to hook it on where I want it to sit, and then I'm going to pop my stamp, because I want my stamp to sit like so. I'm going to pop the word onto here, and I'm actually going to line it up in the middle between the grid lines on here. And that did not work how I wanted it to work. I'm going to line it up on these ones, but you've got to line it up upside down. Okay, keep that in mind, lining it up upside down. I've just got it marked. If I put my S right on that edge there, so my S is on this line here. When I turn it over, that's what I wanted to do. I've got the G in the middle. Okay, But it means then when I take it off, I can actually move it to this position in the middle of this one here, because there's 3 grids. Now, when I stamp with this one on here, if I would then move it, it's going to stamp on exactly on that one. So you want to line it up in the middle of that grid. Now, there's lines for a reason, because that's what we're going to use as our marker. So just got it on there in the middle, nice and straight. All right, and we're going to add some ink. Okay, there's a couple of different ways you can add ink. You can actually just turn your ink pad over and add ink. All right, and then you can turn it over and stamp. However, keep in mind that sometimes that's not going to be the best. So what I've done, because of the way that I've positioned it, I can actually fit this on either side and just tap it on there, and, you know, Bob's your uncle. Send her up there. That magnet's not going to get in my way, but if you feel that it does, you can move the magnet. All right, and because, oh, that didn't stamp very well, so let's put another bit of ink on here. It's going to line up perfectly. It didn't line up perfectly. I must have been a bit wobbly. Hold on a second. Let's turn it over. Yes, I am live. Woohoo. Okay. All right, turn her over. Let's start again, okay? When she sits in there, make sure it is nice and square. Send it down. Nice and square, send it down. Nice and square, send it down, not wobbly. So make sure it's nice and square, okay? And we're just going to go up nice and square. See what I mean? It just has a little bit of a wobble. You just want to make sure you're nice and square. Okay. And I'm just pushing it in the middle. Might move these guys out of the way. Oh, up one. Nice and square. And just going all the way up. All right. Now, if I want to go directly in the middle here, I'll just give this a bit of a clean. Love the chamois. All right, turn it back over just so that I can see where I'm going. And I'm going to move it up to the next lot of grids, okay? Because those 3 are spaced evenly. What I want to make sure I remember is which one I've put my S against, which happens to be that one. And hold your tongue right. And then I can send sending smiles straight up the middle. Okay. Oops, I got a bit carried away. I went high. So now I could decorate either side of this paper with some decorative paper and would be perfect. Now, because I trashed the other side, ignore that bit down there. All right. If you want to send it in the other direction, just ignore that bit there, okay? Pretend you can't see it. All right. Depending on which angle you want will depend on where you start. Oopsie. Keep missing one. Okay. Fresh Freeze is probably not the most ideal colour to use to show you, but I've only got 2 ink pads on my table today. Hi, everyone. So I've only got my Memento and I've got Fresh Freesia on my table today. Oh, let's move this magnet because it's going to get in my way. Now, if I wanted to off-center this, I have a couple of choices, but the one I like the best is I could move that out, but I'm not going to because I really like having that little pointy bit jammed in there. I'll just get this ink off here so I don't get it all over my fingers. what I can do is that's where I currently am sitting. Okay. What I can do is I can move it over an inch, an inch or a square. Now I actually want to send it that way. So I want to send it back towards my holes. So I've moved it over and I'm going in that direction. All right. And I'm going down because I've already done the one in the middle and I don't want to send it. I'm holding my tongue in the right spot. It's not really in the middle. And you can see how this can work really well with great big sentiments. Okay. So what you'll see is what I've done is I've off-centered this one. Oh yeah, will fit there. And this will then make it so that you can have words that are not necessarily all in a row, but they are, well, they're all in a row, but they're not, they're like every second line is a bit skewed. And you can do it to cover the whole piece of paper if you want. So I could end up making it so that they went all the way along if I wanted to. But then again, I could put 2 pieces of cardstock on either side and just have it so you can see the sending and you can see the smiles of every second row. Just depends on what you want to do. So that's one thing that you can do with this. Okay, so you can have a bit of a play. Another thing that you can do is if you are going to cut out multiples, which I'm going to do, and I'll just get another piece of cardstock. All right. So you can go up and down and you can go round and round. Where did I put my up and down one? There's my up and down. Okay, so you can go up and down. Okay, but I want to stamp everything in one go. Okay, and I'll just close up my fresh erasure. So there's a few things that I want to stamp. So I'm going to do some leaves. I need 2 leaves, okay? So, and I want 2 flowers. And I'm going to cut these out. So I'm not putting them right next to each other. And there's a room down here for another set of leaves, okay? So we'll just grab these guys. All right, it's going to pull my piece of paper up, but let's see where I had it. So come down a little bit. Now, those stamps aren't actually touching my paper, okay? So those stamps are sitting just above the paper, so I can move that out of the way and I can put, oh, don't let it drop, and I can put I've buttered it up against these little dots here, just so that I know it's nice and straight. I can put my magnets on. Now, what I can do now is my memento is a little bit dry, okay? You've seen me use it over the last little bit, and we know it's getting a little bit dry. I could re-ink my memento, but I didn't bring the re-inker over. So I'm just going to put some ink on these guys. Plus these guys are brand new, but it means that I can put that on there and I can press that down and see how it's a bit blotchy. Guess what? Let's put some more ink on this. I do have a re-inker, but that's fine. So Tony's just come over to help because he heard me say, I don't have this, I need to do this, but right, not right now. And I'll just stamp it again. And you can see it's getting darker and darker. And because I've done it in exactly the same spot, hi Pauline. And like I've got ink absolutely all over this board, which you can probably see when I put this down here. Do it again. Look how dark that leaf is now. Okay. So I actually want to do it again. It's a little bit still, a little bit. I really just need to re-ink my memento, don't I? It's been so hot. I've had the air conditioner on and everything, it sucks all the moisture out of everything. So there's my stamps. Now I want another set of leaves. So, and if you're doing mass stuff, this actually works quite nicely because I want another set of leaves and there's only one leaf stamp in here. I actually have to move the leaf. So I'll just put it down here, turn you over, pick you up. And we're just going to do that leaf again. All right, so you get the opportunity to stamp everything numerous times, always lands in exactly the same spot. So things become nice and dark, if that's the look that you're looking for. And if you've got a dry ink pad or drier ink pad, you can make it go just, oh, they forgot to send you pad. Oh, get onto them. They'll make it right. That's the best bit. All right. You don't necessarily need the pad. I just like the pad because I don't want to get ink all over the board. Okay. All right. So we've got those all very nice. Now, that's going to make it much easier for me to cut them all out. Okay. So that's the Stampin' Positioner. Okay. I'll just put these guys to the side. I'll take that off. I'm just going to put this one to the side because I don't need it. But I want this here is actually going to be my main piece. And I'm going to use the word sending smiles. And I'm sending them down the side. Now, I am going to have this piece over here. Oh, cover up the ink pad or it'll get drier. So I want to make sure my words are going to land where I want them to land. Now, I'm going to have some flowers in the middle. You don't need the pad. So the pad, it sits on a white, it's plain white. You can get away with not having the pad. I just like it so that my plain white doesn't get messy. And I don't know, it's a little bit grippy. Plus I like having the ruler. Okay, so because I like the ruler here. This ruler is great, but I like having the big black lines to make it easier for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this down in this bottom corner for now, this piece of paper. All right. Stick some magnets on it to hold it in place. This guy's going to go there when the time comes, all right? But I want to make sure that the word sending ends up down here, sort of in the middle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting the word sending here because that's where I want that particular one to land. All right, does that make sense? So then once I've centered it here, I can then make it go up and down, and then I can come back to it and reposition it. So, but I can make it go up and down, and if it goes off the page, it's going to be lined perfectly to my center anyway. It should go off the page, up the top and down the bottom. Now, my piece of cardstock for my front is 14.4, so that means my sentiment needs to be at around 7.2. So this line here is my 7. So there approximately is my middle. Now, why am I pushing it over and leaving that little gap? Because I've got a little treat for there. Okay. So we'll just go on to this particular one here and pick that guy up. Come on. Still nice and sticky because it's new. Okay, so I'm just going to move this piece of Designer Series paper out of the way because I don't want to bodge it up. All right, so, well, that was clever because look where it's landed. Can you see that I'm still learning with this guy? Okay, because now it's actually on top of my piece of paper and because I should have actually put it over and done it that way. All right, so let's put you back down there. Will it peel off? Nope. All right. let's put you back down here on 7.2-ish, between 7 and 7.5. And I'll just put smiles off there. So, right. Now I'll actually put this guy on the correct way, not upside down, so that my little patties are in the right spot. Okay, so you need to make sure that when you put it down, the patties are on the bottom. Okay, so let's put some ink on here. All right, and this probably could do with a ring before the weekend as well. All right, so we'll start down the bottom. And we're doing tone on tone. We're going all the way up. Put this guy down here. Oh, and did you see that? I moved it a little bit. So let's just push you back there so that you're straight. All right. So yes, I'm going to let you all have a turn at the positioning tool on the weekend if you don't already have one. All right, because I think everybody needs this one. So I've got class this weekend, and anyone that's coming, yes, you'll be making this card. All right, so as you can see, I've done it straight up the side. Now I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean. All right, and I want it to end in the middle. I want it to land in the middle now, but I want the smiles to be my main word that's landing in the middle. Okay, so I can eyeball this and work out that that's actually where it needs to be. But then when I put this guy on, you can work out whether you want it to sit on the bottom of the positioning tool or on the top. And I think the top is a better option. Okay. So I've stuck him on there, but I'm just going to I'm thinking that I might need to, I think I'm sitting down, so I don't think I've eyeballed it correctly, but we'll see how we go. There's two sides to every piece of cardstock, so we'll see how we go. Okay. And you'll notice I didn't get to do one down the bottom, and I'll show you what I do to fix that. Oops, missed one. So those people that do rock and roll stamping, when you've got your block and you roll it and you rock it, you can't do that. Okay, it won't work. It won't let you do it. Probably should have put sending up the top, but that's fine. So I need smiles to land down the bottom here. So there's no real way to get that down there. So what I need to do is I actually need to send my piece of cardstock up. Okay, so this is where the inches side would be really handy because this seems to be in inches. So I'm going to send her up 1 centimetre and we'll measure it and see if that's correct before we stamp. All right. No, as you can see, it's not. Okay. So, and the beauty about that is that stamp's not touching that piece of cardstock. So let's send her up another centimetre. Nope. 1.5 centimetres. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. So we've gone up 2.5 centimetres. Yeah, we've gone up 2.5 centimetres. That's close to 1 inch. So if I had the pad the other side round, which was 1 inch side, that would work very nicely for me. Okay. I just know some of my ladies don't work in inches. And there we have sending smiles all the way down our side. Okay. Yeah, we've got an S down there. If you want to get really neurotic, you can trim it off, or we could have sent it along a bit further. We could also then put another S there for the other sending smiles. But essentially it's telling me that we've got one whole word. All right. You can only ink one word if that's what you want to do. All right. Choice is yours. Okay. So we'll just give that a clean. Now we're going to pop the ink away and pop this guy away. Let's make a card. So I've done a little bit of playing. Got some pieces here. This is a the lovely and beautiful designer series paper. It's a specialty designer series paper, and I don't know if you, oh, that's how you see it. You can see there's some gold on there, and it's really pretty. Okay, really, really pretty. This is just a piece I like. It's got some fresh freesia flowers. It's got some mossy meadow and some old olive leaves and squares. The old olive on the other side is just divine. The whole paper pack is just divine. So, or just lovely if we'll go with the with what we're saying at the moment. So I've got some black cardstock. It's been a while since I've made a black card, so I thought I'd come in and we'd make one. And so I'm just going to give this piece here a fold. Sometimes I find black so hard to look at. Just to get that square. If you want to make sure it's really square, use your score tool on your trimmer. All right, now I'm going to be doing a little bit of blending, so you will need a blending brush. So we've used 2 color inks. One of them is our Fresh Freesia and the other one is our Memento. So this is great for those people that are just joining. This will be a great way that you can load up your cart with some things so that you can get started. This is a really pretty little stamp set. I mean, it's got just a note. It's got happy birthday. Oh, I don't need, oh yes, I do need to go down that side. It's got happy birthday, just a note, sending smiles, so which is a bit of a sympathy one if you want. It's just a really pretty, and it's got some flowers and it's got some leaves. Okay, so you can use it with any designer series paper, and I'm just thinking that I might do a little bit of extra blending just to zhoosh up a little bit, so just so it's not so flat. Okay, all right, so that's going to sit on here. Okay, and the other thing that I'm going to put some blending on, I'll just put a little bit in there. Why did I do that? It's going to get covered up, so it doesn't matter. Is I'm actually going to do a little bit of blending inside my flowers here. All right. These look really pretty if you've coloured them with the blender pens as well. I've seen some really pretty cards done like that. But I did see, and I can't remember who it's from, I saw a card that just used black and white were the predominant colours, and then she just had one other colour, which happened to be petal pink, and that, I will admit, is not my most favourite colour. So I do have a reluctance. I am reluctant to use it. Okay, so I'll just get out the cut and emboss machine. You all know how to use it. There is a mini one for those people that only have a little desk. Actually, will that fit? Let me have a look. Let me just run this one under the measuring stick. Oh, they will fit. This will all fit through the mini, just so you know. Okay. All right. So I'm going to need this guy. Oh, did I leave enough room? Yes, I did. Okay. I need this guy, and this one. Okay. So I did find that when I send them through with more than one on here at a time, I cut like Bodgy Brothers Incorporated. So I will be sending them through one at a time. So just, as I would say, chat amongst yourselves, but I'll just chat to you. You can use washi tape to stick them down if you want. Yeah, there's lots of different things so that you can get it so that it stays where you want it to stay. But I just found that when I send more than one die through at a time, if I haven't washi taped them down, somebody moves. And it's usually one of the ones that I've coloured in. And yeah. Now, as demonstrators, we've got on stage, if we've signed up, coming up. So using the positioning tool, we can use this to make multiple cards of the same, which we do as a swap. So we set up, Tony's looking forward to making these swaps. He was ratting through the catalogue last night. going, what am I going to make? I'm like going, I don't know, pick a stamp set. He goes, oh, you don't want to just buy it just for me. And I'm like, oh, I will. It's okay. But we're going to make, we normally make about 50 of them. So that this tool is going to come in handy, let me say, all right, for helping us make those swaps. And this one, all right, let me just work out where, oh, that's where you're going to be. Okay. And send this through. All right. Now I do want, actually I'll stamp it before I cut it, because I want to make sure it's nice and straight. All right. Actually, let's go. We'll just use the other one. I'll put this in here. Where did I put the little one? Okay. Just wiggle my piece of paper to where I want it to land. Which happens to be about there. Okay, so back with that memento that's not overly excitingly dark. But that is okay. I don't know what I did. Oh, I do know what I did there. Sending smiles, not overly dark. Let's have another go. And I just made it as fuzzy as it hell. It's a bit floppy, that piece of paper, that's why. Let's move the magnets a bit closer so it's not sitting up as high. How did I do that? Okay. Move it again, Court. No pressure. Up a little bit. And there. Yep, that'll fit perfect. Okay, let's try again. Okay. That's better. Sending smiles. All right. Nice and dark. Okay, now I'll send this one through the cut and emboss machine to grab that, because I wanted to make sure that we're going to cut that straight or stamp it straight. Put the top on. Oh, she wiggled. Okay. It keeps wanting to wiggle on me. Don't want that nonsense. Gotcha. Okay. All right, and through we go. Don't mind my wobbly table. Okay. And yep, we've got the dodgy side there showing, but that's not the side we're using. We're using that side. Now I have already cut this guy out here, just because you guys know how to use the machine. You don't need me to show you. So I've already cut this guy out in some old olive, and there's actually one I prepared earlier that I've cut in half. Okay. Now the reason why I've cut that in half is there's a couple of things I want to do. So with my card, let's pop pop this, do its layers and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to pop this piece on here. Pretty side up. You could put the green side up, but, you know, pretty side up. Oh, boy. Dodgy ink. Dodgy ink. Dodgy glue. New glue. All right. Put it out near my corners. As you can see, I'm not very generous with this glue because it squelches, and you don't need a lot. It sticks like really, really well. Sticks plastic to plastic, this glue. Okay. Make sure she's straight. So this piece here is going to sit on here. Look, see, pretty. So we've got the word sending smiles running all down the side. And the G's there and the S's there. So it's all good, okay? Now, with this one here, yes, I have a straight edge because I cut it like Bodgy Brothers, but that's okay because I actually need something to stick underneath here. Now, what I'm going to do is I do need to work out, because you'll notice if I put this one here like so, which is what I'm doing, and then I put this one here like so, what you'll notice is that there's a half a circle down here. Okay, so I don't want half a circle down there. I want that to finish on that full circle. So I can now see where, see how there's two circles doubled up? That's okay with me. I'm going to put flowers over the top of that bit. All right, so I need to cut these guys off the bottom here. All right, and you will need to go around it a bit. The other option I had was I could have cut from the top because I'm going to hide that anyway. All right, so I've got some spares under there. But I'm leaving that second row on there because that's what I'm putting my glue on, and I can use it to manipulate a little bit. All right, you can get 4 out of here if I use this for my, you can get 4 rows. So if you're being frugal with paper, then you can make it work for you in that respect. So I just put some glue down here. Now I actually want to make it so that it's sitting along that line, which just so happens to be to give it the scallop. All right. This one here is going to go there. So I'll put glue on this side, and again lining it up with the bottom and that scallop. Using glue, you've got a little bit of squelch room, and hold your tongue correctly, but you just want to make sure it does line up. So I've lined up all of my gaps, like these bits here in the oval. Yeah, I've got the 2 doubled up, but that's okay because look, when I put my flowers over the top, you're not going to be able to see it. And that's also a hidden part of that G. Probably could have sent it over that way a little bit so that I didn't have the S on there if I wanted to, which means I could actually cut it off, but then I wouldn't have this bit over the side, and I need that bit of over the side. Okay, so depending on what you want to play, how you want to play it, depends on what you want to do there. But that works for me because it's just a hint that it's there. All right. So, but essentially my flowers and my leaves, again, there's going to be a flower sitting over that, a flower popped up there, and small flowers, and I've got a sentiment. Okay. And the sentiment's running away. Okay, so we're sort of doing that. Now, there is this really cool ribbon. This color is garden green, but you know what? You will not be able to tell that it's different because it's only very fine. It's got it's like a chevron, I think they're calling it. What do they call it on here? Yeah, chevron ribbon. It's little thin ribbon. In Australia, it is it's 1/8 of an inch, which is 3.2 millimeters. Not bad. So we're going to put a little bit of this on here as well. Okay, just because we can. So some tear and tape is sitting on my table here somewhere. I cleaned up and like I put everything away. Can you see? Oh, I was going to say you can see my new beautiful tables in the background. We've been building like mad people. All right, so a little bit of tear and tape. And the decision is whether you put it underneath the whole lot or whether you put it just underneath that bit there. I'm thinking I might put it underneath the whole lot. What do you reckon? Yeah, I'm thinking so. Yeah, because then I can tie it pretty. So let's glue that guy down. Just hold that there for later. All right, see all my spots under here? Okay, and just put a bit of glue down this end as well. All right, I'll line her up with the side of this one. Okay, from a size perspective, I've just cut my normal card front size, my normal cardstock, which is just your half. Yeah, I've just cut half an A4. Okay, which gives me 10.5 across here. So this piece across here, the fresh freesia piece is 10 centimeters across here. Cutting half an A4 in half, this piece here becomes 14.9 centimeters. So this one here is 14.4 on the fresh freesia. And then I've just taken another half a centimeter off as I've gone in. Okay, so, and I do that for all of my cards. This guy here is going to land about there. So I want my sentiment there. So I'll put my ribbon here. Don't need that much over the back. Just tape it over the back. Make sure it's straight. You don't want to curl in the ribbon unless you're doing it deliberately. But this ribbon, it's not thick enough to curl across. Well, you could curl it across the front, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't. You don't need to curl it across the front. Okay, and that piece is going to get glued on there. Now, when I glue my front on, when I've got ribbon underneath, I put a bit of glue on my ribbon. I don't take away my tear tape. For those people that are watching me for the first time. Oops, got glue on the table. And the reason being is I just find that it just holds better if I don't take away that tear tape. And plus I like having wiggle so that I can make sure everything's straight before I push it right down. Okay. Now, Sending Smiles is going to straddle that ribbon. So if you're not a bow person, that's fine. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm thinking, yeah, you can go there. This one here needs to be up here. I want it to cover that dodgy, for want of a better word, dodgy, the dodgy loopy bit, the dodgy bubble, okay? So, and I want to do like a little cluster of flowers and leaves. Okay, so that one's going to go underneath there as well. So because of where I've put that, I'm not going to put my ribbon bow or my knot on this end. I'm going to probably put it on that end. Okay. So it's just a matter of working out placement for these guys. Can probably push them up a bit. Yep. Okay, before you glue everything down. So in this case, we're going to use dimensionals. You need 3. Won't put dimensionals on you, and I'm not putting dimensionals on the leaves. They're all going to sit flat. Okay. So, and I have that one down there. Okay, so we'll put some glue on here. Now, one of the things you can do with a leaf, if you want to, you can put a dimensional under this bit, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I put a dimensional under here, but then I put some glue on these bits, what it will do is essentially give our leaf a little bit of shape, but also make the leaf flat against the card where it needs to be flat against the card, which is underneath that flower. Okay, so it's sitting a little bit flatter under there. Whoops, I stuck to it. Oh my gosh, I must have glue on me. So it's going to sit flatter under there, so it's going to give you a gap here, but it's sitting high here. All right. Okay, and this one here, we can do the same thing with this one here. All right, I want it to sit, yep, and I will do the same one. And this other thing you can do with them is curl them a little bit. You can use your bone folder to give them a bit of curl, or you can keep them nice and smooth. And I'll put some glue on here and on here. So, and that way that'll just stick nice and flat underneath that flower, but it will just give that leaf a little bit of shape. And it just gives it, because it then provides a bit of shadow to the card as well. So this leaf is raised, oh, not this flower's raised. This leaf is raised where it needs to be, which is down here, but it's not under here. Same with this one, okay? And then this guy can either sit underneath there or it can sit on top. The choice is yours. It could even come up here and sit up here. Actually, let's see what that looks like. Although then I've hidden all of my dots, my circles, and I don't want to hide all my circles. I do like the circles. Let's put you underneath there and move this down just a smidge. And I think that that will look like a lovely little flower arrangement. All right. Again, this guy can sit with some glue on the one end and its top up a bit. All right, we'll do the same thing. Now, actually, where is the minis? I can't see them, so I don't have a mini on hand. Let's make these half. I find them easy to pick up with the tool once I've got them as halves, because then it will actually do it, but not do it as it's closer to the edge, for want of a better way of putting it. And let's send you in underneath there. Okay, so you'll sit flat underneath there, and this front piece will be popped up. This guy is going to sit, you can center it, you can send it, oh, we can send it over there a little bit. Okay, which means I can then put a knot over this side. If you wanted to tie a bow, you can tie a bow, you can tie a knot. I'm just going to tie a knot because I know that there's quite a few people out there that do not like tying bows. Okay, and it just gives you a little bit of, and it doesn't use, when you do it that way, you don't waste a lot of your ribbon. All right, so at the moment it's central. Send it over here. The other thing that this does is it means that the bow is not, oh, where's my other half? Because of the way I've done it, the knot can wiggle. Okay, so it's just a little bit of, the other thing that would look really nice, and I probably could have used it, would be the black baker's twine from the actually that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay, now you've got some height here, you've got some height here, so I'm going to put my dimensionals, or you could use these little bits along the edge. You'll notice I've used all of those ones. You could use these little bits along the edge if you wanted to, so that it doesn't sit on the ribbon that way. But I'm just going to run a couple of dimensionals over here because I don't want to add height to here. I just want to add height along here. So I've just leaned them down the bottom essentially. Okay, and then I'm just going, because I want to send that one underneath there and that one up there. Oh, I know what I should have made today. I should have made a get well soon card. All right, let's see. What have I got in the way of dots? Oh, you're pretty, but the wrong colour. No, you won't work. Add some bling as you would like. All my other bling's on the other over the back. So that's fine. So we need to do it. The other thing we need to do is an inside. So what I'll do is I'll do the same thing that I did there. And you'll notice I haven't used a single block. Okay, so I'll just get my inside. And actually, I didn't even bring over an envelope today. Gosh, I'm slack. Let me see. Is there some up here? No, I thought I had a packet here. You're not going to get to see a decorated envelope because I didn't bring one. All right, so let's bring this guy back in. Let's do our inside. What are we going to put on our inside? We're sending smiles. We're going to stamp another flower and another leaf. Okay, so just take these guys off. And I'm going to stamp them in again in the black. Or actually, let's do the little half a leaf because I really like it. Oh, the half a leaf, half a flower. Yeah. Pick that guy up. And it's got no sides on it. So do you know what that means? If you're a scrapbooker, hey Pauline, if you're a scrapbooker, you can, what you can do with it is that you can actually put your whole piece of cardstock in here. And because of the width of it, it's greater than 6 inches wide, you can do both sides. So you can go down the whole edge of a scrapbook page. Just make sure that's in the right spot. It is. Let's get some ink on there. All right, so good for scrapbookers as well. Okay, and then I want my leaf as well. So with my leaf, I actually want it to look like I want it to stamp there. All right, and because I want it dark, we're going to have to do it a couple of times, aren't we? Why are you going in the bottom? Okay. My leaf must be a little bit flat there. Let's see if it does it this time. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a shadow. All right. Okay, and there it is there. So now I'm just going to bring in I find the memento doesn't dry as quick. I wish I'd just done this before I decided I was going to blend it. So I'll blend it a bit more. A little bit of blending here. Okay, and I've got a bit of a mess up there. It's given me a little bit of a shadow, so I am going to bring a block in, and I'm going to put this on a block. Stamp her off. And I didn't get a shadow there, but just so these leaves are like they're at the back because they're paler. So they're further off in the distance. All right, looks good. I'm very happy with that. Oh, if I do say so myself. Put you over there. And there is the inside. So sending smiles, and you can put, there's inside, always here for you would work nicely, and hello friend would also work nicely in here. So it just depends on what, I guess, event you're sending it for. Is that the word, right? The right way we put that, event? Or what the reason why you're sending it. If it's just because, you know, they're the best. Everyone loves to get happy mail. Okay, we don't always necessarily want to get stuff that's not so crash hot. Now I will do a matching card, a matching envelope for this, but there you go. What do you reckon? So using our new stamping positioning tool, which has got a whole heap of ink on it at the moment, and there's its little piece, this one. Okay, yes, these guys, the pieces of paper are, you buy them separately, and that's sweet. Stores very nicely together. Didn't come in a box or anything, but you know, will store very nicely together there. I figured that I'm just going to store mine like so. All right, I'm sure they'll come out with some sort of bag, because someone will make one and then next thing you know, we'll have a bag. All right, so that is our positioning tool. We've used the lovely arrangements. We've used, oh, let me go back to me. We've used, I didn't come up. There I am. We've used lovely arrangements, the lovely arrangements bundle we've used, which has come from the Lovely and Lovely Blooms suite, and we've used the paper which is called Lovely and Beautiful from the suite with the same name. Alrighty, okay, hope you enjoyed that. Now, just a quick reminder, if you're watching me on YouTube, if you're watching my replay, pop a comment below. Make sure that if you're on YouTube that you subscribe, so you'll see next Thursday when I go live. If you want a stamping positioning tool, the Stampin' Positioner, and you are a demonstrator, you can get it now. Then your opportunity to get that will become unknown after that, because it's only from the 3rd of February. It's only available to those people joining between the 3rd and the 3rd of February and the 2nd of March. If you and after that, we don't know when it's coming back. Okay, so it's one of those things. Grab it while you can. If you're a demonstrator, get it now before the 3rd. Also before the midnight on the 2nd. If you're a customer and you would like one, wait until the 3rd of February and grab yours as part of the joining kit. It will get added to your kit for free. Okay, demonstrators, it's going to cost you $85 here in Australia. All right. Thank you everyone for seeing you today, and I will catch up with you all